Hey everyone. Well, I could say guess who, but you all know who it is by now. And we shall take it from there. Okay, now this is going to be a request video, but before I get into the video, I just wanted to mention that Nicole has finished our new website, which I particularly like it. I think it really speaks of, excuse me, of who and what we are, and the energy can be felt as you peruse through the site from my empathic impressions of it. And you can find the new website at twinflames.ca, and that will get you there. And take a peek and let us know what you think. All right, as I mentioned, I've had a couple of requests to do some videos here. And one of them is somebody made the request that I do a video on the harmonious union of twin flames and what a harmonious union would be like for a set of twin flames. Actually, what I did is I kind of poked around on YouTube when somebody gave me this suggestion just to see what was out there, kind of thing. And I noticed in watching a couple of other people's videos who look like they know what they were talking about, actually don't. Because every one of them missed one most important point, is everybody who has had the twin flame connection or the twin flame energy experience or whatever definitive way you want to apply the twin flame connection, there is one common thing that happens to just about every set or every two people that come together initially in the beginning in the twin flame template, and it is as follows. They go into what I coined many years ago as the bubble love phase. And what is the bubble love phase? What it means is, for a short period of time or a longer period of time, it will vary from individual to individual, the two people involved are totally merged, meld in union in a harmonious vibrational frequency at the spiritual or the soul level, the higher self level, the oversoul level, the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, and all of the sheath bodies that are contained within. And for whatever period of time, they are literally joined at the hip at all of these levels, and they experience what I call the harmonious union of a set of twin flames. And as I said, it can go on for a period of time. And usually, and I've heard dozens and dozens of different reports from people who explain it to me, what they felt, what they've experienced when they're in the bubble of or the harmonious union of a set of twin flames. And it's pretty much all the same. The euphoria, the telepathic link up, the sharing that goes back on, the intertwining of the intellect, the intertwining of the creativity, the stimulation of the sexual energy, the etheric experiences that take place. It just goes through the whole gamut of all of the things that I've mentioned. And for that period of time, they're in a complete harmonious union of the twin flame experience. Now, what happens, obviously, is, and this is where I say a lot of people lose it and lose their way, I might add, is it's a gift when the twin flame template or the twin flame connection is presented to an individual. And usually they will agree with me totally in the beginning. But what happens is that temporary state that they're in cannot be maintained indefinitely, because most of us have been entrenched in our consciousness, in our chakra system, and specifically in our etheric body with the belief systems of relationships based on the emotional experience of love, relationship, and sexuality. So inevitably what happens is the two individuals must come down. And they must come down back to reality as they were living in it and experiencing it based on their culture, based on religious indoctrination, based on location on the planet, and based on their personal belief systems, ideologies, and philosophies. And this is what now takes place, as I understand it to be the process. There are a few people around who try to pretend or eliminate all of this process that is now coming onto the fore, if I can put it that way, for the people going through the twin flame experience. And all they want to focus on is what is called the twin flame relationship. And I have said this many times in the past, that as long as you see the twin flame connection, and as long as all you want, be it a male or a female, and I find females are particularly the worse off for this, is the big majority of females, all they want is the relationship. They just want to get together with the guy or the girl or whatever, and all they want is the relationship. They don't give a fiddler's fart about any kind of process, about any kind of changes, about doing any kind of work. All they want is the relationship. And this creates in social media, especially on YouTube, and especially on Facebook, a quantum amount of groups that pertain just to that particular belief system, and they call it twin flame relationships. Now, whenever you call it a twin flame relationship, that's what the consciousness of the people are going to emanate and radiate for an extended period of time. Just relationship. What I'm trying to convey, and I think there are one or two others that are doing it also, is to say that the outcome of a twin flame connection is ultimately a relationship. But it's not a relationship based on the old belief systems, ideologies, and philosophies, and the conditioning, in the emotional body, all right, or the emotional belief systems, or the emotional expressions. So what has to happen is this, and this is one of the other important things that a lot of people need to remember. Two major things also happen when the people who are beginning the twin flame connection, this happens. Two other events, and I see this all the time. It's almost become standard procedure in my observation, and it's this. Two other major things will happen during the bubble love phase, the euphoria, the complete melding and merging. One, heart center activation will usually take place with the person, or it's began prior to the connection, and it's really elevated during the course of the bubble love or the harmonious union of the twin flames in a temporary state. And the other thing is Kundalini activation takes place. So what this tells you is this, is immediately as you hit the twin flame connection, you go into the bubble love phase. What has happened is because Kundalini is activated, heart center gets activated, the reason you can maintain it and stay there for a period of time is because the heart center is active and you're actually pulled up and you're now experiencing something you've not experienced before. What you are experiencing for the first time in the twin flame connection, folks, believe it or not, is the spiritual experience of love at the highest vibrational pattern that you are capable of doing at that particular time, depending upon the development of your consciousness and the development of your mind, but most importantly, your personality. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more in depth here in the next few videos that I get into. So what happens is, as you revert back into that relative state that you were in before, things have changed, all right? You come back to who you were. The bubble love or the harmonious union with you and your twin flame dissipates, and suddenly all kinds of issues and patterns are coming up. Now, the one thing that you need to notice at that particular point is the content of the issues that come up will always be expressed from an emotional perspective. An emotional perspective. They're not coming from a spiritual perspective. They're coming from an emotional perspective. It's a he said, she said, he's got this problem, she's got that problem, she's needy, he's dominant, he can't commit, she can't do this, he can't do that, she's married, he's not, he's got kids, she doesn't, and the beat goes on and on and on and on. And for some, they look at it as almost like a punishment. Well, why is this happening to me now? My life was going somewhere, and all of a sudden I met my twin flame and everything's gone to shit. All right? And the reason that everything goes to shit is because the experience that you had previously of moving into that higher phase, a couple of things that were relatively insignificant and probably you thought were not important, the Kundalini activation and the extended opening of the heart center chakra has moved you into a different frame of mind, but a different frame of consciousness. But more importantly, the development of a different personality within yourself. The twin flame consciousness, or the twin flames themselves, cannot remain, and this is not really well known or common in the twin flame community at this particular point, is the twin flame consciousness cannot stay in harmonious union, all right, if you will, or that total blend, meld, and merge which you experienced in the bubble love, unless there is a radical makeover of your personality. Look at your personality as being a reflection. Your personality is a reflection of your mental body, what it creates. Your personality is a reflection of your etheric body, which contains all of your templated belief systems, ideologies, philosophies, cultural, governmental, religious indoctrination, blah, 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 and even down to your educational background. Contains all of that. And then you get down into the emotional body. And the emotional body is what you have experienced as experienced energetically, which is actually transmuted and transferred into the etheric body, and it stays there as an energetic template. Now, I'm not getting very complicated here. I'm keeping this as simple as possible because it's very important that more of you out there start thinking more beyond just the terms of a relationship and understand that you're going through a very, very, very special gift that has been gifted to you called the twin flame experience, all right? And it behooves me to remind everybody, in spite of the fact that a lot of you want to experience is the romance and the great sex, the whining and the dining and the rest of it that goes along, there is a process that's taking place. It's unique, and it's going to change life on this planet. So in order for that to happen, a radical change in our personality has to take place. And that radical change, it takes place when you come back down and all of the he said, she said, or the she, or the he, whatever, okay, all start coming into play. And you need to learn how to navigate, negotiate, communicate, and compromise. First of all with yourself, and then hopefully with the other person. So all of this stuff comes up, and what happens is you get into the twin flame community and the confusion reigns because what happens is you have a few people who will pick out, excuse me, I apologize, I didn't mean to use that word, I don't know where that came from. Pick out, as it were, certain segments or certain aspects and focus the whole of the twin flame experience around that. For example, there are people out there who will expose or who will expand upon the idea of twin flame union, harmonious twin flame union. And that's all they want to do is just focus on that piece of it. And you have other people who want to focus on just the twin flame relationship. And you have other people who just want to focus on love and sexuality. And you have people who just want to promote a certain segment of it. And what happens is you get stuck in so many different aspects of it that nothing really is involved with it. But the major thing that needs to take place is the change of personality. And this is what's going on right now in the twin flame community. As I've noticed lately, pretty much every day now you can find new twin flame groups on Facebook, which is a good thing. Hey, the more the merrier. Sooner or later, everybody's going to get informed. But the idea here is this: is everyone has more or less, now there will probably be an exception or two, has experienced the bubble love phase. And also, I might add, periodically, if the two are doing some work and they're actually getting into the process and understanding, they will experience what I call, what's the term I'm going to use here? They will experience short periods of time again where they will go back into what I call the harmonious union, okay? Or a total twin flame union for a short period of time, because they've done work. And what happens, and it's happened on both sides, then the two of them can move up again, all right, a little bit. But this time when they move up, what happens is they've left behind their old personalities, their old belief systems, their old ideologies and philosophies to a degree. So to the degree that they've let go of the belief systems, as it were, is the beginning of them rising up. Now, let me give you an example, if I can here, about belief systems, all right? I rather like this one because it's something that I see a lot of in the spiritual community, and I see a lot of it in the twin flame community also. The thing about past lives and reincarnation, all right, which I don't follow any longer, all right? And so much of the twin flame experience has been attributed to this ridiculous thing called past life karma, all right? Let me put it this way. If you, I want people to think about things for a change instead of just accepting what's regurgitated by some people. If you come together with another person, all right, and you go into the bubble love phase, the mystical phase, and you're there for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, whatever, at all that particular point in time, and you stay there in that blissful state, how can you get there? How could you experience it? If you have a belief system that you have past life karma and things to work out with your twin flame. Huh? How can that happen? Because it can't. Because you have a belief system that doesn't allow it to happen because of the past life belief. All right? So this is part and parcel of your personality, and it creates the confusion. The other thing is this, is, for example, there are a great many people out there right now who actually understand and have experienced themselves as not being a single being or an entity, but they're multiple. All right? I, for one, have accepted a long time ago by experience that I'm a multidimensional being. A multidimensional being means that I'm not singular, I'm multiple. Okay, that means that me, the person you're looking at here in the camera, is only one part of my soul body or soul essence. That there are other bodies here in the physical and other timelines and dimensions that are existing simultaneously at the same time. Even in this day and age, one has to be rather limited in their personality or very naive to think that they, the body that you are sitting in and observing this video, you have to be pretty naive to think that you're the only expression of your soul. If your soul is unlimited and a multidimensional being, then why would it have just one of you? And some of you, to be quite candid, are really quite slow in poking along. All right? And you like to think that all things being equal, you're no different than anybody else. And in reality, there might be another one of you who's doing much better than you are. all right? But your ego wouldn't be able to handle that because your belief system doesn't allow it, because you've been brainwashed to believe in reincarnation and karma and all of this other stuff that has no relevance at all in the twin flame connection. You can't come together in any way, shape, or form. What you're doing is simply regurgitating a past belief system. You're stimulating it, and you're creating things. Here's another classic example here. I love where this video is going. It's just totally spontaneity here with what's going on. Here's another thing that I've experienced a lot of with a lot of people is, they will say that, we're having this experience or we're having that experience and it's simultaneous and we're going along with this and we're going along with that. And 9 times out of 10, what I have found out realistically is that the other person is not experiencing what the person says they're experiencing with the other person at all. All right. So what happens is the other person is just making it up as they go along. Now, when I say making it up, what I'm saying is because they're in a certain aspect of their personality that wants to believe desperately that the other one is there. One of the common things that I get is, oh, I'm feeling so much pain in this thing with my twin flame. Is my twin flame feeling as much pain as I am? They want to know if they're in pain and feeling like shit. Is their twin flame feeling in pain and in shit also? Now, I ask you, is that the type of personality? Is that the developed personality of an individual who's ready for the twin flame connection? I don't think so. So what has to happen is more growth is necessary. So as an individual grows, periodically, one or both, and both do not need to grow in a twin flame connection. You can have sometimes only one person growing in a twin flame connection. And I've said this before and created a shitstorm, all right, that if you connect with your twin flame, the twin flame opportunity, the twin flame essence, the one, whatever you want to call it, and you grow and the other one doesn't, what happens to you? Now, in some groups, you can only have one twin flame, all right? You only get one opportunity at it, all right? That's a belief system. That's a belief system that's been instilled by a few people in the twin flame community. If you have the twin flame connection and you're not successful the first time, you can have another connection with another person in the twin flame connection that can be successful based on how much you've grown. For example, if you're not successful in your twin flame connection with somebody or the twin flame opportunity, that person fades out of your picture, but you've done the work, you've grown, you've evolved. You now change, so you're going to get the opportunity again based on the degree and the level of the growth that you vibrated to. You're going to attract someone else to you of that similar vibration and repeat the thing again. And you should have seen all of the flack that I got. I knew it to be truth. I knew it to be reality. I knew it to be so by experience. All right? And then I started noticing, especially on Facebook, okay, and especially in the twin flame community, suddenly you have these mega big heart center connections with your twin flame. And then all of a sudden, gee whiz, you can telepathically connect with other people also. And gee whiz, you start having these magnificent heart center connections with other people besides your twin flame. Does that mean you're a slut? Does that mean you're a no good? Well, you met your twin flame, you have a magnificent heart center connection. And then suddenly you meet someone else and you have a magnificent heart center connection. And the next thing you know, you're having a etheric sexual connection with that other person besides your twin flame? Oh my God, what's my grandmother going to say? What's my guides and teachers going to say? What's my angel? My angel's going to shit her knickers. Okay, my angel's going to shit her knickers when she finds out that I connected with my twin flame. And we had a heart center connection, and then I met another guy, and I connected with him, and my heart center just went completely bananas, and I ended up having just a etheric sexual connection with this other guy while I'm with my twin flame. Well, we'll have to buy a box of diapers for all the angels, because the angels haven't got a goddamn clue what they're talking about when it comes to twin flames. Angels can only give you the information that you already have within you and expand upon it, you see. So we're growing. So what happens is all of these guides and teachers, all right, that so many of us have been dependent upon for so long is nothing more than a belief system that's been so deeply ingrained within us, and now we're being asked to let it go. Because in order for us to express truly in the twin flame consciousness and in the twin flame frame of mind, our personality has to grow. And that means the personality cannot be anchored any longer in the emotional expression of love, relationship, and sexuality. It has to let go and anchor itself up into the heart center, the spiritual, the multidimensional personality aspects of consciousness that reside within you. And it needs to express that way. In doing so, what will happen is you need to understand the basic mechanics of what I'm saying. All right? You need to understand that the opportunity can come to you multiple times. You need to understand when you're in the greatest of difficulty and pain and pile of shit in your twin flame connection, you're making progress. You're making great progress. Don't give up. Keep going. Don't worry about what your twin flame is doing. Only be concerned about what you're doing. The other thing that I have mentioned is this, and this is another big common thing that I see going on in the twin flame community. I hear people moaning all the time, oh, what can I do to help my twin flame? The best thing you can do to help your twin flame is do nothing. Help yourself first and forget about your twin flame. All right? Nobody can help themselves unless they're willing to help themselves first. All right? And usually when I see people doing this because they have a hidden agenda, they figure, well, if I help my twin flame, then we're going to get to be together. That's not how the plan works. That's not how it works at all. So the idea here of this is, in the next decade, what's happening right now at this particular point is all of our personalities, all right, are being modified. We're going through radical personality changes right now. But in order for us to go through radical personality changes, enough for us to be able to accept, to move beyond religious indoctrination and the God fetish that we have, all right, and move into a state of personality that moves beyond the master teachers, angels, and guides, and Chief Wahoo, and whomever, whatever, guiding you behind the scenes, and move beyond that. And if we can move beyond, I just want to be with my twin flame, I don't care about anything else. I just want to have his baby, all right? I just want to have the family, all right? If we can move beyond that and start thinking and feeling like our personality is multidimensional and get beyond reincarnation and karma and the rest of that garbanzo shit that has been pushing us and dragging us down and pulling us down for millennia, and open up to the concept that the vista of what we know about what's out there, what's to be experienced, is important. And the one way that you will know, obviously here, and this is kind of an additional to it at this particular point, is the one thing that you will notice if you're making great progress in your twin flame excursion, is you will notice within yourself in the last little while that you've reached a point where you are actually starting to like living in you. Now, a few of you are going to understand what I meant when I said that, because a whole host of you don't like living in you. You want to be living somewhere else, or in someone else, or with someone else. You need to learn to live and like living in you. When you do that, what can happen is this. You can attract to you the other bodies of light that you exist in. And when you attract the other bodies of light, contained in those bodies of light are some things I'm going to mention in the next video. So, harmonious union of twin flames, everyone has experienced already. All you're doing is putting bits and pieces together, solving some of the dilemmas that are going on, and allowing the most important part to take place in your life, the radical reconstruction of your personality that is a reflection of your belief system and your emotional programming about love, relationship, and sexuality. It's all there before us. Have a good day, everyone.